use Google Forms and a script called Flubaroo to do some real-time formative assessment, right, for our students. Formative assessment in terms of getting data back on what my students know and what content areas are areas of strength and areas of weakness in order to direct my teaching, right? It's real-time, okay, so that I can run this for students at home and then drive my next lesson based on this, or I can have them do it in class, take a few minutes, and then I can actually change the direction of my lesson based on whether students are getting it or not getting it, so to speak, right? So, sorry, I'm just taking a step back here so we can have a look at it from the beginning. If you're familiar with Google Forms, okay, or sorry, Google Apps, Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, right, all of this stuff that comes in your Google Drive that goes along with Gmail, okay? If you've got a Gmail account, awesome tools that you can use and simple tools. So in here, this is my Google Drive, right? I'm going to go to Create, okay? I want to create a new form. Basically, a form is a survey. It's going to allow me to send out questions to students, okay, or to anybody, right? And it's going to collect all that data back and it's going to put it into a spreadsheet for me, right? Then we're going to use Flubaroo later to make our lives a lot easier, okay? So I'm going to create a new form. I'm going to show you one that I've already created, okay? So if I go into, here's the form, okay? It's just a spreadsheet. Yours would be empty, wouldn't have anything in here, okay? And I'm going to edit the form. So up here in the top, I'm going to click on my form tab. I'm going to edit the form. What it's going to do, it's going to bring up, so this I think is where it takes you as soon as you create a new one because you don't have anything in your spreadsheet yet. I think it takes you straight here. Again, yours is going to be blank, right? You're just going to go in there and you're going to start adding in questions. I always start with some informational things. What's your name? What class are you in, right? Which of my blocks are you in, sort of thing, right? In order for Flubaroo to be most effective, you've got to have your students input their email address. Okay, so they're going to put their email address in, right? So Google Forms can collect their email address if you want it to, but they've got to separately input their email address. Okay, and we'll see why or how that helps a little bit later on. Okay, I'm going to go then, I'm going to add in all the questions. So I've got my informational ones at the top, okay, and then I just start putting in my questions. The way for Flubaroo to work best, okay, again, there's a couple of times I'll say that, is that the responses that they do have to be simple. Multiple choice, true and false, okay? It's because of the way Flubaroo grades them. It's extremely specific, right? If you ask them, if you ask your students, right, in one of your questions, what color is the sky, and they write blue, and they misspell it, Flubaroo will mark it incorrect. Right, so you've got to, whatever your question is, it can be as complex as you want, but the response has got to be extremely simple. Okay? It can be as long as you want, but it's got to be like a multiple choice format, right?
Flubaroo.
Flubaroo. I'm going to show you that one in a second. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, that's where we're going. So far all we're doing is collecting data, right? We're doing the form, we're setting up the quiz, okay? At the bottom we're going to see a link here, okay? That link is going to take us to the live view, so this is what students see. Okay? It's basically a cleaned up version of what we were just working on, right? I'm going to take the link here at the top, okay? And I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to send it to my students in an email. Okay. So my students all roll into class, okay? Or maybe I'm sending it to them at home, right? Email, click here to start your quiz, okay? So that, you know, hyperlink it into the quiz, takes them here, they open it up, boom, this is it. They're going to go through, they're going to fill out all the information. You choose which of the questions are mandatory and which of them aren't. When they're done, they look over their work so they don't have to submit it until they're happy, right? Then they're going to click submit at the bottom, okay? And it's going to dump all of that data back. So in my grade 9 class, I've got 70 kids, right, between 3 sections. It's going to take it all back and it's going to start dumping all of that in here. If I can see, sorry, I can't really see this very well, right? All of their responses start coming in here. Okay? So far, all it's doing is collecting the information for me. Then we're going to go to Tools. Okay, and we want to install, okay, we go to the script gallery, we want to install Flubaroo. This is where Flubaroo comes in. F-L-U-B-A-R-O-O. Funny, weird.
Install it every time or just one time?
You've got to install it every time.
Gotcha.
Right? Unfortunately, it's only going to take you a minute or two.
Yep.
And I don't have to grade those 70 quizzes.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's going to save me a bunch of time. It takes me a bit of time, but it's going to save me a bunch of time, right? And creating the quiz takes you no longer than it would, you know, doing something on paper in like a Word doc or something. So I'm going to, you know, once I get it installed, it takes a minute, right, to install it. And then what I'm going to end up with is this Flubaroo link at the top. That wouldn't have been there originally. Okay? And so all my students' data is in there. I've also completed the form, and that gives it a marking scheme, right? So when I go in here, I'm going to go to grade assignment. This says regrade because I've already graded it, right? But you would just grade the assignment. I'm going to choose to use mine, right? Don't really have time to show you. It's like 2 or 3 steps. Really, really simple. It's going to take you through which of these is the one you want to mark against. Which of the questions are you going to award points? So I'm not going to award points, obviously, for their name and their email address. I'm going to award 1 point for each of the questions, right? And then I'm going to run it. So I'm going to run Flubaroo, and what it's going to do is it's going to create this grade page. And this grade page is going to take all of the students. It's going to give me some overall data, okay, up at the top. Sorry. Right, and it's going to show me some general information, and then it's going to show me in red each of the students that scored less than 70%. So I get an idea of which kids need some more time, right? And I'm going to go back and I'm going to target them for some extra help. Okay? It's also going to show me, right, this is down at the bottom, which questions it'll flag in red. Overall, the group got less than 70% on. So I can now see content area that needs reteaching. Or maybe I just messed up the question and didn't word it very well, right? So it gives me some real-time data it takes to grade the assignment. It's going to take a minute or two, right? So I can see who needs more help. I can see which areas need more help. I go back up to Flubaroo when I'm done.
All right, ladies and
And
gentlemen,
I can email them their results, so they see what the questions were, what they responded, what the right answers were, and they can use that to study on. Right? So just real-time, informative.